Hi everyone, Steve here from DigiLife Enabled, coming to you today from the Diggers Inn, Francistown, the gold mining town in Botswana. And we've been here meeting with some family and meeting with some people, some beneficiaries of some projects that we've been doing out here. And I heard something interesting in Francistown today that I just wanted to share with you. But before I say that, just to let you know, we were meant to be flying from Cape Town to Francistown, and the flight was cancelled, but we were told we can fly you from Cape Town to Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. And I thought, good grief, that's a bit far out of the way, but there is actually a link between Bulawayo and Francistown, and this is it. Okay, in the 1890s, about 1896, there was a pestilence amongst the cattle, okay, and nearly all the cattle died, and the cattle was used for transporting in this area. And what that meant was there was only a few number of mules that could be used to transport people from Francistown. It was over 70 miles to get to Bulawayo, and after about 10 or 12 miles, those mules need to be changed. And so it was a very slow journey. And so at that time, Cecil Rhodes, he asked for an engineer to be able to build a railway all the way to Bulawayo from Francistown. Now that was about 70 miles, and it needed to be done in about 70 days. And guess what, guys? From scratch, they built, they leveled, they constructed, they laid those lines, and in 70 days, working at a mile a day, they constructed that railway all the way from Francistown to Bulawayo, and that was in 1897. Now, the line wasn't perfect, but it got the job done. They didn't use complex bridges, they used simple fords to go through some of the rivers, and they had an issue with simple ballast. They didn't have the perfect ballast that they needed for some of the sleepers, so it was just laying straight onto the sandy ground, so they went at a slower speed over those. But the point is, they got the job done, and they laid that track in 70 days, a mile a day. Now, when you're thinking about starting a project, you know, sometimes you can get taken up with, we can't start this thing until we've got everything we need, and things need to be perfect. And that applies to starting an online business as well in the digital space. Sometimes we procrastinate because we don't have everything we need, and everything needs to be perfect to start. But just this simple example from this engineering example where the guys got a workable solution. It wasn't perfect, but it meant that the community in Bulawayo could be connected with Francistown, and much needed supplies could be put in place. And then following that, they could perfect the rail, they could put in the bridges, they could put in more perfect sleepers and ballast later on. So I just want you to consider that, guys, when you're looking at starting a project. You might be daunted by how can we do this, and it's not going to be perfect. You're right, it won't be perfect, but you can do something workable to put something in place where there was nothing in place before. So that's it today, guys, and we'll have something for you from Botswana later on.